Welcome to Mental Health by Jaden Hull. Today, our objective is to help you understand a little more about mental health challenges out in the world and how people are facing them, and to dive into the steps of the first step of helping manage these challenges and to find help and healing in all of it. To begin, uh, I think it would be good to first understand what mental health is. So, mental health is split up into three categories. The first is emotional, the second is psychological, and the third is social well being. One or all of these three are are huge factors that play um, into the challenges that people face with mental health. So we need to be aware of these things when we're trying to help someone improve our own ideas and overcome it ourselves. But even more than overcoming it, because a lot of these challenges won't be overcome, they'll just be learned to manage. And so if we can learn how to do that using these three categories and dive into each one, then we will better be able to help in the mental health situation. Um, Another thing that I think we need to know and be aware of is mental health um, can come in a variety of ways. Some of those varieties are depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, anorexia, bulimia, etc. There are a lot, and I mean a lot. And we have to remember that each one of these challenges are individual. Depression for one person can be different than the other person. They all have the same type of thing that drives them, but they can be very different from one person to another. So we need to be aware of that. But because there's a variety, it takes time for each individual to find the right course of action to find help and healing. And so that's why we're going to learn about the first step um, of healing today. A little more information is, did you know that 1 in 4 college age students will deal with some sort of mental health challenge during their schooling career? That's 25% of all college students in the United States that will deal with one of these things. And because of that, it's a big deal to help those individuals continue in their schooling, but also encourage them to find help if they do start, because the majority of them, or 25% of them, will um, have to deal with some of these things. Um, Also, mental health can affect how we think, how we feel, how we act, how we deal with stress, how we relate to others, and how we make healthy choices. So it seriously does affect our entire life if we're not both physically and mentally healthy. Um, but the one we want to focus on today is how it affects our relationship with others. The majority of time, people that deal with these issues want to just hold it in, hide it, pull away from everyone else. This is one of the biggest issues because that is how you just keep the boiling pot boiling, is holding it in, is trying to overcome it yourself, when really the way to help and the first way to manage better is to share your experience and help those around you. So now what? So now we have to talk a little bit. Um, Now that we've talked a little bit about mental health, um, we can have a better discussion. So let's think about this topic. Some thinking questions that I have for you, and then we'll discuss them with the people around us. But have you or anyone around you um, ever experienced with challenges with mental health? How long did they last, or are they, or is it still going? Um, did you or that person shut down? Um, if they did, why? Why did they shut down? Um, and the last question I want you to think about is knowing this, how do you view mental health challenges? Is it a healthy way of thinking or is it an unhealthy way of thinking? So now that we've thought about these questions, I invite you to take the next couple of minutes and discuss what you've learned, felt, or anything that you have experienced with mental health. How does it shape you? How do you deal with these things? Has it shaped your family dynamic, your struggles, your successes? What is your personal view on mental health? What is your family's view on mental health? Um, and anything else. It's really up to you what you want to discuss. So I'll give you the next minute or so. Ready, go. Awesome. I heard some great discussion out there. Thank you. Congratulations. You just participated in the first step of learning and managing mental health. Um, this is just a small demonstration of what you can do to help someone or yourself manage and find help. Um, if we can create positive and healthy and um, safe conversations, then we can start healing and discussing mental health. There's a big stigma in the world today that says we shouldn't talk about it, that we should hide it, that we should put put it on the back burner. Um, but that is the complete opposite of what we want to do because this is the way we start finding help because once we start a conversation, it's easier to continue that conversation and you can actually find help. There's a lot of hope, there's a lot of optimism that can come with with it if we choose to. So in conclusion, um, I hope we were able to share a little more insight to mental health. I hope that we find it easier to open up and talk about mental health. In today, uh, in today's world, like I said, there is a stigma and we want to try and erase those thoughts because the healthiest thing to do is to talk about it and um, get help if you're struggling and help the struggling people because there's so many resources out there that can help if we choose it, but we have to first talk about it so we know what facet we need to dive into for that person individually. So let's go out and make the world a better place. Let's spread light, love, hope, and optimism. And yes, we can do this if we talk mental health.